Так, okay, so okay, again back to complex perspective. This perspective, this picture, oh, this picture I will call like extreme advanced level of perspective. It's really like I almost break my brain. It's really extreme in every every sense. Так, so let's see. First, a quick recap about basics in a 3D space. So let's see. We have box. No, okay, two dimension, right? It's just like vertical and horizontal, Y and Z. Y will be green, Z will be blue. This is 2D. Then, if we add, let's actually it's should be X, Y and X, and when we add third dimension Z, then it's three-dimensional. So Z will represent like a depth. Okay. So and perspective grid is when we kind of repeating this axis. So in this sense, it's Z will be like this, and we repeat X. So now we have three set of lines where each line represent like axis of like a dimension. So if I draw box in this perspective grid, I will draw vertical lines like this. I will draw horizontal lines follow this X axis, and I will draw this line which represents depth following Z axis, and again X axis and Y vertical axis. And if I draw transparent, I will repeat same stuff. So just quick recap and more detail. It's in my previous tutorials about perspective. We'll give link in description. But also what is here we'll mention now. It's sometimes we have this situation when, like here, it's like super simple. It's isometry, right? So it's lines that just parallel. But when we have vanishing point, things are changed. So if we have like vanishing point for Z axis, then instead of being parallel, Z axis lines, which represent depths, they will concentrate it. They will focus on one point. So, and if we have like before, Z axis or X axis will be like this, just horizontal in the paper, and Y axis will be like this, just vertical on the paper. Then we can also draw this kind of grid when we just repeating parallel Y-axis and repeating parallel X-axis. And in this situation, like a box, I draw a vertical line like this, horizontal line like this. So it's two-dimensional square kind of here, or rectangle if it's like not equal. And when I start to draw depth, I should follow this vanishing point. So it's not enough just draw parallel to the perspective grid. It should be followed to same rule, to focus on the vanishing point. So same here horizontal, here from this point we'll go here, and here from this point go here. Okay, so then we'll have box kind of this. Again, so it's like super basic fundamentals, but why I recalling it, because it's very important to look this time through this kind of terms of axis lines, of three set of lines, three set of axes. So then, like in my previous tutorial I was talking about like 5-point perspective, right? So we have 5-point perspective is like when we have certain sphere and we have this vanishing point in the center of this sphere, and we draw vertical line and horizontal line through this vanishing point. Then intersection of these lines on the sphere or on a circle will give us extra 4 points. So we have vanishing point, which is also stands for Z. So if we kind of just keep adding these lines, we can draw just as much as you want. This will be all Z-axis. And these two vanishing points, they're standing for Y-axis. And this Y-axis in the center, when it intersects this middle vanishing point, it's just vertical line. But on the side, it's like quarter of a circle. You see this like half circle, so curved line. So, and to turn it into grid, we just draw some like dividing on the halves. So make this kind of transition of curved lines, so it just became like more bumpy and more going on the side, and more straight, more blunt, going to this vanishing point in the center. And this line is standing for X, same as like X will be curved like this on the edge, and less curve going to center. So this 5 vanishing point perspective here, but it's not most complex one. More complex than this, it's perspective like let's say like 360 perspective. And this, I will just show you this principle of this perspective. It's when we have let's say it's have like a similar to 5-point, but it's get more complexity here with the curvature. So we have sphere, circle, and we put middle point, and we draw this horizon line through this middle point, and then so here, instead of let's draw this line. So this line will represent the vanishing point, and instead of drawing straight lines like we did in the 5-point perspective, here we will draw two more spheres, which will be like this. So you see they kind of growing from middle of each other. So we have this and this. So now we do similar as we did in a 5-point perspective. We draw this curve lines, and then here it's like will be have like this look of vertical line, and then you can here just add some in between lines in between. And no, and of course if we will look like more precise, but usually all this is outside, far away outside from your work picture plane, kind of, you know. So usually no need to draw this, you can just draw some curved line in between, so it's just like this, you know. But main it's circle because it helps us to calculate. And then this will like kind of continue, looks like going there and kind of this. So then this is Z, right? So this one will be this circle. We will use as Y is verticals. So then again, when it's like going to 360, we will need like extra circles. And same here. Okay, let's draw it like this. So it's kind of having this kind of look. So you see, it really requires some experience and practice of perspective to just be able to keep all this stuff, all these lines in your head. Так. So, and for what we have Z, Y and X. So for X it will be, let's say, I'm now confused too. Vertical. Yeah, so for X we use same sphere as Y, and we divide it, instead of vertically we divide it horizontally, so we get this X lines. So also, you know, what it should be like clear for artists who study perspective is it's like it's not any one book or one video which will be enough for you to really understand all this stuff. You just should to eager for being like really clear in this subject, to be like, you know, like, okay, now I really understand what is all stuff about, you know. And you can watch like this video, other videos, or watch some books, try yourself, try on different photos, and then like do it until you will have a real clear until you will have this clear understanding of how all this works, and so it will have no any like trace of uncertainty. It should be totally clear for you. So you do it again and again until you really can tell yourself like, okay, I understand. Don't jump into this false feeling of like, okay, I watch something, I read something, and of course I understand now, I'm not stupid. No, it's so hard. It's actually really hard, and it's like it's really require like practice and repetition and like application. It's for different situation. And this like today, this picture, this crazy perspective here, it's another cool example of this, like how tricky it can be, and like some like you already kind of think you understand, but actually you need to refresh all this and clarify again for yourself what is all about. So, and if we draw like box here, так, so to look this. So you see, it's like this kind of perspective grid is it's kind of open it from inside out. Let's draw some windows. Door. Так. So this is like kind of some simple, quick explanation of perspective grid for 360 horizontally. But so what we have here in this picture today, this is kind of this 360 perspective, or like VR kind of perspective. For vertical picture. So crazy. So let me show you what is this. So we're doing similar like here, but we draw it vertically. So let's draw a line, draw sphere, circle. Draw. another circle. So this will represent z axis. So all this I draw is just to clarify, kind of, you know, because it's really took for me like some time to realize what kind of grid is behind this reference, behind this picture, because it's not just a 5-point perspective grid. So this is Z, then here it will be circles for Y, and we use same y-axis circle for drawing perpendicular lines, which will stand for x. Green it's y, red it's x. Super extreme advanced perspective for really crazy guys. Yeah, and I just believe it's useful to know how it works, even it's not like maybe like some kind of grid you will use often, but it's important, like it's something what make you really professional to just to see all these principles, to be really aware of all these laws, and being able to work with them if it's necessary, you know. Так, okay, so and here in this picture we have like camera also is like little tilted. So if we kind of look this picture plane, it's something like this vanishing point for this kind of pillar on which this girl is standing is something like is here, and pillar itself it's some kind of this one. So picture is something something like this. Something kind of this. So you see, так. Okay, and now we can finally go to this picture itself. Так, let's see. Dun, dun, dun. So we have this vanishing point for vertical line. And here is this so you see, because I draw on a paper, I don't able to draw all these full spheres, but I need this just to have this idea of a principle, and when I know it, okay, at least I have like close enough, I can draw close enough. But on a picture I just need first to establish this three set of lines, establish this perspective grid. So what we look at this vanishing point for her pillar, and also we look for this kind of rooftop here, which give us this idea of like X and Z lines. You see? Так. So goes something like this. We have this Z vanishing point here. So remember this line here, it's represent this. It's like Excel for all these circles here. So it's tilted like this. Then we have also I draw some grid here on the photo. It's like little distorted because I draw with mouse, but I want to use original. Так. So this kind of vanishing point here. So I can draw the axis, the lines. So I draw this one, you see? And then this also can have like this, but not necessary here, it's not invisible on the photo actually. Так, then we have this goes through this vanishing point is go X curvature, which is going like here is pretty strong. And here is just straight. So we draw in between something like this. So it's kind of, it's not perfectly aligned to this like circularity. But okay, but it's like close enough, you know. And again, it's kind of thing of freehand drawing when it's not perfect. Sometimes it's odd, but it's close enough. And so it's big difference between when you draw some mistakes and odd and wrong stuff without knowing principle, and when you follow principle and you make some minor kind of mistakes, you know, and minor like missings, you know, like, so you just like make it little out of perfection, but you follow principle and you consistent with this principle. So here this line again, so we can draw this for y axis for vertical lines. See y axis here, it's this one, this, and this is line, this vertical line, and this line here, and this curvature, it's this curvature, you see. So this point, it's this point. So if it's too crazy, too difficult, okay, you just practice more, study more on this subject, come back again later, it will be clearer. And same kind of here, which is we actually, in this picture we don't see. What also makes this picture hard to draw and hard to understand its perspective, it's because here this like road map here, like these street lines, they're not totally like cubical, you know, they're not like parallel and perpendicular. Some of them is angular, like with some not straight angle. So like, no, we'll see, we'll show you now. So this is our grid. This is our grid here for this picture, and then with this grid, it's also some kind of placement of major forms. So you can like make quick marks with a pencil. So what we have this building here. We have some kind of this building here. We have some this towers here behind. And we have this river. which is river also. River doesn't follow perspective here, so some parts like align into this grid, but be careful, don't be mistaken with some things like curvature of river and also stuff. Don't be tricked by it. Don't kind of try to build a grid from trees and rivers, you know. Find some boxy and parallel to each other objects, like some streets which just are parallel to each other. And again, is this why I need some practice to draw different pictures in perspective, just to train your eye to do it easy and quick, like to recognize where is parallel objects and stuff like that. So here's some kind of public square. Here like uncertain, foggy stuff here. Here's some street like this. Some street here. Street here. And here below building we have, so this one road here is like little angular, it's not follow grid. Here this triangle, with this side follow grid, this side follow too, but this not, this angular, etc. So you see something what is following, what is not following, just like should to notice it. Okay, kind of this some perspective grid plus composition sketch, like just marks about main objects. Okay, so I put this cone of pillar here first. Also, how to draw this ellipse here is better to draw this square in perspective, and then we make this cross, and then we know how to draw the ellipse. Here again some basic thing applied on a complex situation. Так. Then this girl, she's like little tilted box. So first I draw box. Maybe I draw her little move. Here. So following grid, I draw in her standing like this. Little higher. So here she tilted. So it's like rotated, actually rotated, not tilted. So we have some rotation. Так. Here. Just thinking how to better to put her in perspective here. It's like if I want to make it like accurate tutorial, so okay, I better follow grid when I draw her too. So let's make her more accurate. So we have like kind of two boxes here. It's one box for her lower part of body, for her legs, and second box here is like her is her torso, but it make it more complicated because she turn it and more like lean it back, so we kind of can see it's little more like this. So then her hand here almost follow grid, then it's more like this, more like this. Hand with the phone. Okay, now we draw here. Some glasses. Yeah, now it's look a little better. Так, okay. So now make some lines. Так. I wonder where is it? What city is this? Like, do you know? Like, I don't know. Hong Kong? I'm not sure. If somebody recognize buildings, write in the comment. Так, here we have this kind of antenna. Так. Yeah, if me personally, I will never do photo like this. It's too crazy. It's like remind me how I was in childhood climbing trees, and after when I climb like very high in a tree, and then I looked down and I was like terrified, like you know, like this cat which cannot move back down. No, eventually I moved back, but it was so scary when you need to look down and move down from tree. But I kept doing it, like, because it's so fun to climb the trees. like feel like you know, kind of ninja. Так. Like this. Make some music. Music so cool. It's actually it's my brother compositions. So if you like it, push like button. Yeah, I think very cool. Like very fit to cyberpunk kind of drawings. Так. And it's great, like I have brother who make music, so I can use it on YouTube. Так. Yeah, so here I just fill in all this elements, like this kind of details. And again, like more you kind of draw in this kind of views, more this perspective became like casual for you, you know, like extreme became normal. And then like Kim Jong-gi you will able to just draw without grid, because you will see all this grid in your mind, because you have done it for so many times. So it's similar to driving a car. Just more practice and it became natural, just automotive process. This kind of thing in art, often people like prefer to ignore, like no, amateurs and beginners. It's importance of practice, importance of repetition, and just hours and amount of your attempts being applied to subject, because more you've been working on something, more confident and more free you will with this. And you cannot jump over it. It's like, yeah, you can make 3D models, you can make some grids on computer and stuff, but if you lack like real understanding of this, it will be always prominent. It will be always part of your work, is your actual level of, or like your actual like level of clarity, like of knowing of what are you doing. It's like for example, it's great perfect example in this series like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. This Vince Gilligan, he is like a prizing professionals in his stories. It's always about some characters who have like extreme professionalism and something. So, and we can see how how it's been established, like what made them professional is their like insane level of awareness of like knowing all details, knowing all possible outcomes, all possible um, situations, and all requirement, everything, because they did it so many times. They seen so many different uh, like problems, different problems from different angles in a different environments with different components and all this stuff. So they generated this uh, crazy experience. So they became this like so they kind of developed this amazing toolbox of their skill. So they practically kind of they can see much farther than any other human being in their specialty, of course, because they work there all their life and they did so many for this. Так. So contribution, must do contribute. How much you contribute, this much outcome you will have, and you cannot cheat in here. Again, as I tell in the previous tutorial about extreme perspective, it's like in this exercise I don't want to copy everything. Rather, I want just to learn and like some main core things, and maybe like I want to study like interesting solutions and interesting ideas. So what kind of buildings, what kind of elements. So in case if I will draw similar situation later, so I will able to recall and say like, it can be this kind of roof, it can be this kind of cars and people's if they can be visible and stuff. And especially when you work with this kind of reference, is so quality not so good and so many elements just blurred and impossible to see what is actually there, so you just do it like for study purpose. Just draw major things and change it for your taste, like change it how you like, what make it something you interest in it to be. Just like play with a constructor. Some roofs. So you see I draw this roof as like two-dimensional rectangles, and then I add this third dimension, so they start to have this depth. So then here some like trees here. Roads. zebra, road crossings. Так, here. Так. Oh, hi, Raducci. Um, I've been drawing like, oh, um, let me see. Oh, no, I can say like when I seriously start to study drawing, I go to 2002. 2002, I go to art college in my hometown, so I start to study like basics. So it's like already kind of 20 year, crazy. Oh my god, I'm so old. So I drawing. No, I mean like seriously, constantly. I draw in 20 years. Yeah, yeah, of course. You know, I should draw better. Так, let's see. Yeah. Так. Let's see. Сейчас буду something like this. Just drop some more buildings here. Like this area here is now is not important. I can just draw some shapes. Because otherwise it's too much attention. So you can also like later check beginning of the stream. I was mention all this rules kind of behind this particular perspective here. I'm not sure it will be like totally clear because it's like crazy, it's really crazy advanced, but who knows, maybe it will be clear already, or maybe at least it will be like a link for all these rules which can be studied separately, all this like 5-point perspective and this three kind of VR, how say, like 360 angle. Because like for me, I never was interested to draw this like 360 degree perspective, because I don't know, I don't see what is point. It's like the you can make real 3D on computer. Why you need to make this 360 hand drawn and after convert to kind of VR view? No much sense for me. But turns out it's really necessary. No, I mean it's important, useful just to understand how it works. At least like if you will draw Spider-Man comic book, something like this, it's really useful to have like full range of perspective knowledge. By the way, interesting, do you like comic, no, in general, Spider-Man? Because like I find it's like, I don't know, I like from childhood I've been like watching these cartoons with Spider-Man. Так, here, 1, 2. And somehow it's been intersection with Spider-Man and Akira, because how I think Spider-Man in general, it's a very cool idea, very smart, very like genius solution, how to price your favorite town. So it's like basically it's just idea about how to explore and look more for like New York City, and like because here's flying there and artists need to draw all these extreme angles, like kind of bird view, warm view, everything. And the Spider-Man, he like climbing all these buildings. Compared to Batman, look, in the Batman we have this like Gotham City, it's like dark city something, and it's like it's not real city. It's like okay, it's dark, so it's something somewhere very vague for me. I was always I don't like Batman in general. I don't know, just no interesting. And it's totally different compared to Spider-Man. It's like similar, some guy jumping on the roofs, but in the Spider-Man it's totally about appreciation of a city environment. It's like um, it's like make people in a city feel better because they can actually like refresh their view and understanding of city environment. So I find this like is really its real purpose of kind of Spider-Man stories. because it's all over there, like how he's flying, you know, it's like, uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's totally about just say like I love my city kind of, and I want to explore it and experience it in many different ways, like flying over it. And he touch buildings. You see, like he's like, so it's like it's genius. He fly around buildings anywhere, and he kind of sense all these buildings. You can, by watching or reading Spider-Man, it's kind of you identify with him, right? So you can experience city almost like if you've been touching all these buildings. It's crazy. Oh, thank you, John. So imagine like your hometown, and if you was first who invent this kind of story about Spider-Man, like so nobody yet made this Spider-Man story, and now you like sit and it's like, oh, I have this cool idea of a superhero kind of with all this action, and he will like kind of being all around my city and like discover for readers all this unusual location or usual location from unusual point of view. And you can see how amazing this, like you should have like a grant from city administration for this, because you are like really make your hometown, you make whole city artwork. Так, okay. And here let's draw some clouds. Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, and in one interview, like also I like Stan Lee say about like making all the superhero. It's like making American mythology, like pantheon with American gods, like mythological gods. You know, like in Greece have this Zeus and Ares and stuff. And then I understand it's absolutely exactly like this. I mean, he wasn't just talking for promotion, like I don't know how to say, for PR. You know, it, I believe he really do this because uh, it, I think it was this time where ideas of Joseph Campbell was super popular, like of this mythology concepts about hmm, like hero journey and about just um, ancient cultures with these gods and like life cycles kind of stuff. So I believe that it's all intertwined, all connected with Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell. And now when they have these movies and games, I see so often Marvel use very great writers. Sometimes script is just fantastic. Like let's see, Guardians of Galaxy game story actually is so cool. It have so many meanings there. I mean, it's like in general it's a good story because it's talking about like average people kind of relationship between people and like daily problems, like how people live together, about friendships, love, wife and daughter and stuff. and in same time it's on a mythological level about life and death. Так. Let's see this building here. I don't want to draw all these windows, so I better draw cars. Maybe some boat here. So I think this city is somewhere in China. Some kind of Shenzhen. I'm not sure. Because also this fog, it looks like pollution. Like I was in Xi'an. It's like it's kind of in the middle, in the center of China, and there was so crazy pollution. And I mean, it was so many, and every day, all this like gray fog. So I was like thinking, okay, maybe it's not pollution, maybe it's just like no, like just a fog. And then when I was leaving Xi'an, I was like in airplane, and we like moving up, and we've been flying above, like I don't know, like it was really like in the Matrix. In the Matrix 3, when Neo with Trinity, they was fly out from clouds, and we was fly out from all the smoke, from all this pollution over Xi'an. You know, it's crazy, like clear blue sky above, and below is like this like brown gray smoke kind of, it's like, oh my god. It's crazy how people surviving there. Yeah, and actually, I like after being in China, I was in China in general. Like how many, like, because I was revisiting it a couple times, like 3 year or 4 year, like in total. And after I have like, I feel like like if I were a smoker, but I never smoke, so it's really like hurt my lungs. So, and this like policies in China is so crazy. They're like cover every mistakes. and like nobody have real picture of what is like situation with environment or with health and stuff. Government will hide in everything. Yeah, that's why China is no joke. It's freaking crazy. It's no joke. It's like now it's like almost like North Korea with a freaking power in all world, with influence, world scale influence. Because I have like so many like YouTube channels like where they like talking about problems in China, because all this China propaganda everywhere they talking only about how China is great and everybody happy and dancing, you know. But when some people who was in China or who run from China talking about its problems, even YouTube will demonetize their videos or block their channel and stuff like this. It's crazy because China money, everybody like money, and they will like say response for Chinese government requests. Так. Okay, maybe put some shadow, light and shadow. But here on this photo is, yeah, it's not shadows here. Okay, I'll just try to do something. Back her dress. Yeah, so put some like shading here, just to make it more readable. So we have this gray for trees and some kind of lazy ambient occlusion. No, this sketchbook I bought in a shop in Taiwan. It's kind of very good too, very cheap and very nice sketchbook. I just like, you know, being like in Taiwan here, everything easier to buy than made yourself. Oh, John, yeah, you watch tutorial from beginning. You will crazy. You it's crazy. It's true. I was like, oh my god. I was also like bend my mind like this picture. Ah, you're talking about watercolor. Oh, yeah. No, I mean it's like all of this is just more you do, more kind of easy you with this. It's like who's this? Lost name. Just forgot name. Bobby Chu. Bobby Chu, this character artist, also with his how's his school name? Skill Square School, something like this. Yeah, if you watch like his drawing process, his painting process on Photoshop, it looks crazy too. I cannot follow. He just like moving brush something and picture appears as like it's I don't understand. It look like fake, but uh, he is for sure. He is legit. He he's like he's just master drawing for so many years, so much dedication. This what also is interesting thing about art is like why everybody like artists and treat art as a magic, right? Because it is magic in a sense of it's something people don't understand and cannot follow how you do it, like a magic trick, right? You make some like do is disappear, but it's just like control of your hands and people attention. Yes, schoolism. Yeah. Yeah. So. Forgot what I'm talking. What's this lay flat sketchbook? Lay flat sketchbook? You mean like this kind of sketchbook? Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah, you know what's funny? For me, I actually find it's like harder to draw on this kind of sketchbook when you draw, when I draw like in my usual situation, because I like to hold picture in my hand. So when I have like just a couple pages, couple pieces of paper, for me it's much easier. But when I need to hold whole sketchbook, it's like my wrist like really became numb, or like, or I will like broke sketchbook in my hand, and so it's already like little broken. So I broke all my sketchbook just because it's so I don't know, like you need to hold it and like your hand like this, not very comfortable. So after practice drawing with this lay flat sketchbook, I decide I will back again to my just pieces of paper, like boards with paper, stuff like this. But yeah, it's good when you can sit When you can put it on a table, it's easy. And this one also, check it out. It's fantastic. This is like super cheap sketchbook, but it's almost like a flat. It's just like little bump here, but it's kind of almost. I mean, you can draw it here. It will be okay. I did it sometimes, but only minus is like because paper is little cheap, so it will not. It's not for like, let's say, it's not for many years storage. If you want to really like make it like amazing artwork, you better buy like more expensive sketchbook. But for something like sketchy, it's perfect. I also if talking about brush work, I also very amazed of Daniel Warren. Like he worked with brush like Kim Jong-gi with this ink brush, and I like how he say in one video, and he also make live videos every Friday. And he say when he work with a line, he because he use uh, brush pen, whereas okay like this and other one. So he use brush pen for lines, and he also use like any kind of other line ink pens for making line. And he say he just have bunch of this pen in his hand, on his left hand. So he when he draw, he just like subconsciously switch from one pen to other pen. So he don't think much about which pen he need to make line art. Instead, he focus on his like ink on a paper, and he want just to create this ink, like ink quality he wish, and he use whatever he can to create this quality. And it's like, wow, that's crazy too. Like just totally put all these instruments to subconsciousness, make it like natural process. It's cool. Так. Success. And like also other artists, I make some name dropping here. James Jean. Also James Jean say like when you make some artwork, like you draw some figure, for example, some person, and then in one moment you have this like a switch, and instead of being drawing or painting, it feels like you're really create some creature with all these surfaces. It have like you drawing skin, you making no you like he making light and skin and all this like textures, like real forms of real objects. So it's like, it's like became the one with your artwork. That's cool. And this where we heading to, towards this direction. We want just to being like dissolve in this process. It's just like lost. So it should be like a dream thing. You just like whoosh, you there, and then you wake up and you look, okay, you have some pictures there. I think this is perfect. No, you just get an experience. You experience creation. You are not like sitting and drawing and worry about all this stuff. No, now you involve in this process. You're part of this process. You experience it, and you look at this also like some kind of viewer and like, wow, it's so cool. Just being part of creative process. When you're a tool, your brain is a tool, all your skill and all this stuff, just being all your practice and study, just to prepare yourself for this, for being tool for creative process, which is totally nature, like rain and all this airflow in the planet and stuff. Okay, yeah, so I think I will like finish it like this. Watch it from beginning to see all this crazy stuff, which just look like I'm lost my mind. So yeah, thank you for chat here with me. Okay, bye. Bye John, bye Raducci.